When it comes to foundational tracks in the history of rock and roll, there are a few that come to mind. Not Fade Away, originally by Buddy Holly, is one. Johnny B. Good by Chuck Berry is another. You can even move into the mid-60s and talk about songs like She Loves You, Satisfaction, You Really Got Me, as well as many others. But one of the coolest, most niche underground hits of the 60s that would inspire countless musicians to embrace the carnal and the salaciousness in their music. Something risky and for adults only. This is the story of Them and Gloria. George Ivan Morrison was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland in 1945. In the 50s, his father left for a number of years to try and get some work going in the United States. He moved to Detroit, Michigan, and it was there that he learned about American music and became obsessed with it. His father would return to Ireland within a few years to rejoin his family, and he brought with him that music. He eventually became known in Ireland for having one of the largest collections of records in the country. This is where his son Van learned to sing. Later on, in early 1964, Van responded to an advertisement for musicians to play at a local club for sailors, where he gathered together a few buddies. Together, they'd become Them, which they took from a 1950s horror film by the same name. They started playing at the club and elsewhere, and Van Morrison and his insane vocals started to get attention. It was that summer that he reportedly started writing the song Gloria, inspired by the grit of the late-night Belfast scene. What's a little bit strange is that he claims that the song's name is actually inspired by his 13 years older cousin, Gloria. But apparently not the subject matter of the song. Oh no. Whatever, man. The song is basically the semi-erotic retelling of a sexual encounter with a girl who left absolutely nothing to be desired. And it's Van's vocals, this insane amount of swagger for a 19-year-old kid. Just ferocious in his yearning for this woman. Anyways, they started playing the song live. And Van Morrison would sometimes stretch it out on stage with improvised lyrics, making it 15 to 20 minutes. The crowds went insane, and before they knew it, they had a record contract with Decca, who hoped that this little Belfast band might be the Irish answer to the Beatles, and the bands who had come to dominate the British invasion. They recorded Gloria in October 1964, and released it in early 65 in the UK first, and then in the United States. It was not a hit in either country, and some think it's because of the gritty, minimalist production style that didn't quite measure up to their contemporaries. Others think it was the repetitive nature of the song that just wasn't great for radio, even though they managed to cut it down to 2 minutes and kept it relatively clean for the album version. Further still, some people think it was just too raunchy for 1965. I think a combination of these theories is probably on the mark. Them would only include Van Morrison for another year before he struck out on his own to make a whole different kind of mark. But Gloria would go on to influence everyone from Jimi Hendrix to Jim Morrison to Jeff Beck and even Patti Smith.